Buongiorno. Hey, thank you all for joining me today. I'm really excited about today's video. Today's video is actually going to be a dual purpose video. I am going to be doing a product review of a shave soap, and I'm also going to be doing I'm going to be gearing it as a tutorial for someone who is brand spanking new to double edge razor shaving. I wanted to talk about today's soap a little bit. I'm going to be reviewing this product by Henri Et Victoria called Absinthe. To give you a little bit of an idea or a little bit of a glimpse into the history of absinthe. Absinthe, also known as the Green Fairy, is a highly alcoholic, and I mean up to 148 proof. It is an anise flavored spirit. It is derived from various botanicals such as grand wormwood, green anise, sweet fennel, and other medicinal and culinary herbs. At one point it was said to have hallucinogenic properties due to a chemical compound called thujone, Thujone, that was present in trace amounts. And in my research on what absinthe actually is, I stumbled across a YouTube video, and if you get a chance, check this video out. It is called Americans Try Absinthe for the First Time. It was quite humorous. I would encourage you to do a search on it. It was funny. The soap itself comes in a 114 gram, 4 ounce jar container with a screw top. Basically a plastic container. I got this for the going price on this, I believe, is $12.50 for the tub, which comes to about $3.13 an ounce, which is right there. It's comparable to any other soap. I had ordered this from Maggard Razors, and it literally came within a few days. Originally, I got a sample of this soap, and in fact, I'm going to be finishing that up today, and if I need to load any more, I'll be taking it from the tub. The product description on this is that it is an aromatic herbal liqueur of anise, juniper, spice, citruses, and wormwood. It goes on and says it is a delicious smell to delight your shave. I would vouch for that. I use this a time or two over the week just to get a feel for it before this review. It really is an amazing soap. It's an amazing smell. The ingredients are potassium stearate, potassium cocoate, water, glycerin, potassium ricinoolate, Racenoalete. I apologize if I mispronounce that, and perfume. And again, I like the soap. It gave me a pretty good cushiony razor glide to it. I liked it. It was somewhat protective. So now I'm going to get into the shave a little bit. Today, again, we're going to gear this as a tutorial for someone who is brand spanking new. I'm going to be doing this shave with my 2-piece razor. This is a Merkur 34C. Some people call it Merkur. I call it my Merc 34C. It is a 2-piece razor in that when you unscrew this bottom section here, this top piece comes out, and you have the shaft here, which has these male threads on it. And when you spin this little knob here on the bottom, there is a post that goes up here that has female threads on it. So when you put the shaft down in here and you turn this, what happens is the shaft that has the female threads on it pulls the top in and secures the razor in there. So what you do, I'm going to be using a Vashkod Teflon coated blade. You have to be careful because every razor is sharp. What I do is you put this directly on the top, and you will see that you have these posts up here on the top piece of the razor. You want that razor to sit in there nice and flush. So I basically hold this like this. I lower the bottom part of the razor to it, and then I turn this to draw the top part of the razor up. Now, every razor that I have and every blade that I use, you always want to make sure that the blade is sitting in there straight, because sometimes when you do it, there's always a little wobble room here. You can see the way that's moving. So what I do is you want to make sure that you have an even, consistent amount of blade and that it is parallel to the top piece of the razor. And then I just go ahead and snug it up. You don't want to over tighten it, but you do want it snug. You don't want this loosening up as you go. That is the razor. I'm going to be using a Razorak Big Bruce brush. This is a synthetic brush. Now with a synthetic brush, you do not have to soak this like you do a natural brush. A natural brush which has boar or badger bristles needs to actually absorb the water. A synthetic brush does not absorb water. What I do though is I do have a cup of hot water next to it, and I do leave the brush in there for a little bit before I shave, just to wet the brush, because when you're loading the brush up, you want the brush to have some moisture to it. Not wringing wet. I do shake out or squeeze out most of the water from it. So what I'm going to do, the first step you need to do, you have to wet your face. You have to prep your face. Always a good idea to use hot water. And I always keep a towel next to me so I can dry my hands so I'm not slipping. Now again, this is the what's left of the sample of Absinthe. So again, I shake out most of the water so the brush is still wet. I have this, actually the only thing I had at the time was the top of a thermos lid. So what you're going to do is you are going to, I always hold the container upside down so that any water from the brush stays on the brush and it doesn't go into the soap. I'm going to keep it on the brush and not in the soap container. So I'll hold it upside down or in an angle. Now, as far as building a lather goes, there are basically two ways of accomplishing this. You can either bowl lather or you can face lather. I have done both. You can build a good lather using either technique. Today we are going to face lather. Now, again, what I do is I try to keep the brush not dripping wet. I get most of the water out of the brush. Then what I'll do is I'll go in my cup and I will pull whatever water I need and then apply it to the brush. You can always put more water into the lather, but you can't take it out. So now we're going to begin lathering. The smell of this is amazing, it really is. There are two liqueurs that I pretty much grew up smelling. One was anisette and the other one was Sambuca. Sambuca had more of a straight up black licorice kind of smell to it, and anisette was more of an anise scent. This soap, I've heard some people say it has like a licoricey smell to it. It actually does not have that Sambuca smell. It has more of an anisette smell to it. It's a little different. It's similar, but a little different. I could see where the confusion would be. So what you want to do is you want to take the brush and you build up the lather. It takes a little bit of time to develop it. You gotta have patience. And again, you can add a little water as needed. Very rich lather. I like it. And you want to work it into the beard. Now there are pre-shaves that you could use. It's really all a matter of personal opinion whether you use those. There are times I use those. Today is not one of those times. I did shave yesterday, so I don't have a huge amount of beard growth. The beauty of wet shaving is you tailor it to what you need. Traditionally, you want to do a 3-pass shave, but if you don't have time to, or if you don't have a whole lot of facial hair growth, you can do a 2-pass shave. So I want to kind of paint that lather on there. This really is a nice rich soap. You can see it has a nice sheen to it. I like it. And I really like these Razor Rock synthetic brushes also. They're called the Ply-Softs or Ply-Softs, however you pronounce that. Okay, so now the razor, the Merkur 34C. Before I start shaving, I usually warm the razor up in the water for a little bit. First pass, we're going to go with the grain, which for me is down. You want to make nice, even, smooth strokes with very little or no pressure. Always want to try to stretch the skin. The key to doing this is not to be in a hurry, because that's when nasty things happen. Now, as far as how you do this, doesn't matter. It is entirely up to you. There are times I'll start on this side of my face. I'll start on here, meet in the middle. Other times, like today, I'm going to go from my left all the way to my right. It doesn't matter. It's like cutting the grass, you know. Some people do it one way, other people do it with them going the other way. Some people make X's, zigzag, cross cuts, whatever. It's all good just as long as the grass gets cut. Okay, that was the first pass. I'm going to hit the lather again. Go back to the brush. There is plenty of lather on this brush. So now for the first pass, I usually try to get a nice, huge, thick, cushiony, big buffer of a lather on my face to get the majority of the of your facial hair off, the majority of your beard off. But the subsequent passes, I feel that I don't need a lot. Second pass, I'm going to go across the grain. And if you are making the conversion from cartridge razors to double-edged razors, welcome to the community. It's really a cool thing. There are so many channels on YouTube dedicated to wet shaving. Some of them are quite good. You can learn a lot. And the thing that you want to do is always keep an open mind. There are more than one way to do things. You're going to see an entire variety of shavers doing a variety of different things. It's all good. What you do is you listen to it, you watch it with an open mind, and you take from it things that work for you. Third pass, I'm going to go against the grain. And again, the third pass, most of the beard is gone. So the third pass, I'm going to go against the grain. And I just want to paint the lather on. I just want to coat it. Just enough to give the razor something to glide over. The scent of this really takes me back. I mean, it really does. I mean, I remember having dinner at my grandfather's house, and at the end of the dinner, the trays of fruit and nuts and everything would come out, and then the bottle of anisette and sambuca, and the scent of this really brings me right back to that. It's a nice scent. It's not overpowering. It's just enough. It's perfect. It's a really nice lather. Very protective. Now when you're shaving, you can get into the strategic placement of your tongue. Right here, if I shave, I'll put my tongue on the inside just to level that out, that little corner of the mouth piece there. I'll just stick my tongue out there just to bring that little divot out. Okay. I'm going to do a quick rinse. I'm going to feel around to see if and where there are any spots that I need to go back and touch up. This is actually a very close shave. Right, I mean, I could go out right now and this would be fine. A couple little spots. Put some soap on there and kind of slide around. You could feel it better. Another thing to do too, I grip the bristles of the brush from the bottom and just gently pull up. And you have all this amazing lather that is in there that you can extract from your brush. Okay, right about here. Got it. Everybody has their trouble spots, and you have to map your face. You have to know which way your beard grows. A little bit right here on the jaw. And knowing that, knowing how your face, how your facial hair grows, is going to go a good way into avoiding a lot of razor burn. And irritation. All right, I'm gonna rinse off, and then we're gonna recap. Now, I rinse off with hot water because I feel it gets the soap off my face better than cold water. And then shut the hot, and I continue to rinse as the water turns cold. It's a good idea to do your final rinse with cold water. It helps close your pores. Now, you always want to pat dry. You don't want to rub your face, especially with a terry cloth towel. So I start at the ears, behind the ears, pat dry. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, it was actually a very nice shave. There's no razor burn whatsoever. There's no nicks, there's no irritation, no weepers, nothing. Again, it was a Merkur 34C with a Vashkod blade. If you haven't tried the Vashkods, I would recommend them. Probably one of my favorite blades. I'm going to be using this Nivea Men's Post Balm. It's for sensitive skin. Not that I have sensitive skin, I just like the product. You basically just put a small amount on your hands and just apply it to your beard. Any moisture that you lost from dragging a sharp razor across your skin 3 times, this rehydrates your face. And especially if you do have any irritation, it's always a good idea to do that. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hands. So again, today's soap was Absinthe by Henri Et Victoria. 4-ounce tub. This is what it looks like. It is an amazing smell. It's not overpowering. It doesn't stay with you all day. I enjoy it while I'm shaving, but if I'm wearing a cologne or going out or something, it doesn't interfere with that. The two scents do not do battle with each other. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I highly recommend this soap. And again, if you're brand spanking new to double edge shaving, welcome to the community. I hope that video helped you out. You guys all have an amazing weekend. Peace.